up, guys? Welcome back to another Spill the Beans podcast.
Happy Friday, guys. We're back home in our natural habitat, and I hope you guys are having an amazing Friday. And of course, for those of you listening, I hope you're having an amazing Thursday. And in case you want to tune into our outfits, let us know. I like to step up my outfit game, but today when I was getting changed, I was like, have I worn this already? So if I have, just know that we have a washing machine.
Yeah, that looks super comfy, babe. But yes, indeed, you have worn that before.
I have? Shut up, really? When?
But I wear the same black shirt every Friday, so it's okay.
I think you're lying, babe.
No, it's not black. It's pink. You have to go see to make sure I'm not lying.
Okay. Do you want to start off with your fun fact of the day, or do you not have one?
I don't have one because you told me that you don't want that.
Well.
You have one?
No, I don't have one, but I was just checking, and I think you're lying, babe. I have never worn this outfit before.
Okay, babe. Anyways, oh no, it's the outfit you wore when you took the pictures with Franco, right? When you breastfeed?
Yeah.
I knew you wore it before, but
yeah, I've worn this a lot of times, but I don't think that I've worn it for a podcast. But yeah, if you guys want to know what I'm wearing, make sure you tune in tomorrow, Friday, if you're listening to it on Thursday. But we're back home, guys, and we have a little update for you. This is our first time that we've flown with Franco being a toddler, and I don't think it's for the week, because thankfully our airplane was not full. There was probably like 30 people on there, and that's a little bit for a flight. We're always packed, but this time, girly,
guys, we were those people for the first time. You know what I'm talking about, the ones with the crying baby. But you know what? I think it's one of those things. I was thinking about it when it was happening. It's one of those things you just gotta experience in your life. You're gonna have to, and you if you do, it's character building. Like your first breakup, your first heartbreak, your first job, your first car. It's like your first baby crying on the plane moment. You just have to go through it.
Yeah, and I wouldn't say it was embarrassing for me. I wasn't embarrassed the whole time. I was like, what is wrong with him? Because he never cries like this. So my whole concern the entire time was what hurts, what's going on. But lo and behold, he's teething. He has 4 new teeth coming in. He had a fever. Like, he was obviously just not comfortable, and being just there on the plane, he didn't want to sleep. He didn't want the boob. He didn't want nothing, guys. So for the first time, we were those people on the plane, and I feel like I've never been the type that I'm like, oh, there's a crying baby ever, even before I had Franco. But now I was like, oh my gosh, pobrecitos parents, because when they're crying to the point that you can't comfort them, that is really stressful. Yeah. And it's just more stressful on him because I had no idea what was wrong. I did, but then I thought there was something else wrong. But we made it out alive.
I thought his ears popped.
Maybe. I don't know. A lot of factors could have played into it. And tell me why. He ended up latching to me probably like the last 10 minutes of the flight. And he was crying probably for like 30 minutes straight. Yeah. Inconsolable, just crying. My mom couldn't help. Jonathan couldn't help. The boob couldn't help. Like at this point, nothing was helping. So for the very first time, we got really humbled on the airplane.
And then like the freaking flight attendants, like some are really cool and some are just like assholes, I think. He was like, because obviously you don't put headphones like on a baby, right? So we were playing like Miss Rachel through the phone. But I sat behind her and her mom, and I could barely hear Miss Rachel. And like we said, it was an empty plane. So there was like no one really close to us because we could sit wherever we wanted. And like just because he passed by to give us like water and snacks, like he told us like, you got to like turn it off or put it on mute.
You got to put it on mute.
And we're like, dude, I can barely hear it if I'm behind you. And this is the only thing that's like helping us with him. But I was like,
I'm like, you either want to hear Miss Rachel singing the ABCs or you want to hear my screaming crying baby.
And I'm sure that's what everyone around us probably thought. They're like, put Miss Rachel on. It's better than like a screaming baby, right? Like, plus it's like who?
We weren't even blasting it, guys. It was probably on like volume level 2 and you could barely hear it. But obviously I went on mute and Franco was not happy. So at the end of the day, nothing was going to make him happy. And it was just a very humbling experience traveling with a toddler. And at this point, like when we were waiting in the airport to get on the flight, he was crawling all around. And trust me, I'm like, with Franco, I'm like, please don't get dirty. Like, I hate that he crawls in dirty places or places where I don't know if they've been cleaned or not. In the airport, like, come on. Obviously, probably the most dirtiest place ever. And at that point, I was like, girl, you do you. I'll wash your hands. I'll sanitize them. I bought hand sanitizer that's safe for babies. I was like, I'm just gonna let him do his thing because I have come to realize that as a toddler, you just have to let them have their way. It's their way or is it? Their way or the highway?
Yeah.
If it's like happy toddler, happy everyone, honestly, because you just have to really cater to whatever their needs are and screw everybody around you and yourself too, because at that point you don't care about anything else but your toddler not screaming and crying.
I don't think he's a toddler. It's like he's like in this weird age where like
I guess he's
leaving baby, but toddler, because I don't think it's toddler's way or the highway. Like we're talking toddler for me is like 2 to 4. Like when they fully,
because that's a whole ass kid.
No, because I think they're still like when they at the point where they fully communicate and understand, they stop being a toddler. Because I don't think it's also like, this is where Blanca and I disagree. I don't think it's the toddler or the highway, and that's why we still tolerate Franco, because he's for me he's not a toddler yet because he doesn't fully understand. But when a kid fully understands and is a toddler, I think that's not okay, because then you just let them know that it's their way, like for everything, you know. And I don't think that's right either. But yeah, right now he doesn't understand. Stay still or be quiet or don't scream, so we let him do whatever right now, you know.
Even toddlers don't understand that.
Yeah,
like a 2-year-old does not understand that. Stay still, don't scream.
2-year-olds are babies.
What? Wait, let me see.
Like, dude, a toddler? You're talking toddler.
Let me see.
A kid is like 7.
Age is considered a toddler.
I'm not gonna let Google tell me what a toddler.
Oh, 2 to 3 years. So he's not a toddler yet.
No, he's like in this weird like. He's leaving baby, but
he's in a transition.
Yeah, so it's really tough right now. Even Lulu said that this is the toughest age she ever experienced, because Catalina right now is a year and 6 months, 7 months. So she is like almost into a toddler, but not even yet. And she kind of understands more. Yeah. She said right now it gets easier at the 18-month mark, kind of right now. Right now, Franco's like a little like Pokemon, like he's evolving, and he's not a baby like Gugu Gaga, but he's not like ven pa acá, sit down, or ven, déjate de comer. Like he barely understands words. Like
yeah, and Catalina's also in the stage where she has a longer attention span. So it's so cute seeing her like watch movies or sit for a movie for longer times. When Franco, he watches a music video and like that's it. Yeah. He does not have attention span for anything else. So I'm sure it'll get easier then. But also, I feel like there's a lot of factors that like play into like his the way that he was acting, because he was just out of routine for a week. His like nutrition was not the best because he was not eating. He was kind of just nursing and snacking here and there. So yeah, guys, we came very humbled, and now we're starting over, trying to get him into a routine again. We probably don't have a trip for like another month and a half, I would say.
With him?
Yeah, because I think the next trip would be Lulu's baby shower with him.
Hell no.
What?
Not even then.
You don't think he's gonna be good then?
I just don't need. It's not even like for me being selfish. Like I don't want to deal with that. It's like for him, like just he's like already going through the evolutionary, like him changing, and now you have to put him away from home in a different scenario. I think it's just tough on them. Period.
I think that it's just how you say, like, you have to get them used to your lifestyle, because even his pediatrician the other day, he's like, why is he so social? And I was like, oh, he like interacts with a lot of people, and he goes on a lot of trips, you know. She's like, wow, that's really good. Like, she was really proud of him. So even then, like, I think that we're doing a good thing by exposing him to different environments most of the time, you know. But anyways, tell them what we're going to do today.
Guys, today is just a little advice podcast. Get your Friday going, your Thursday going. Get the blood pumping. Just thinking about life, because we're in March now. And then March means spring. Spring means happiness again for those that have like seasonal depression, like me. And let's just get right into it, guys. You guys have been killing it with the Instagram DMs. So we're proud of you for that, because we're more likely to see those because they're nice and sweet. I think Instagram doesn't let you send in really long things. So we appreciate the ones that condense it. Anyways, if you don't know what the Instagram is, it's Spill the Beans Podcast JJ or Spill the Beans JJ.
Bruh, you're the one that made it.
Bruh. Spill the Beans Podcast JJ. Like the letter J and then another letter J. Is the Instagram. Go ahead and DM us there. That Instagram is very weird, guys. Sometimes it's Blanca answering you guys, and sometimes it's me. You're more than welcome to like send in like questions for either of us or just in general. But yeah.
So lately, you guys know that we've been traveling, and with the traveling and the different type of water, which I know sounds silly, but with the different type of water that we've been using to wash our hair, it has been getting a little dry, and you can tell because it just doesn't look as healthy. So my hair goals right now is to add more moisture into it and also to hydrate it. There is no one size fits all solution when it comes to hair care, and that's because your hair and your hair goals are unique to you. Thanks to my personalized Prose hair care routine, my hair has been doing so good and thriving.
Prose makes custom hair care that's effective because it's personal. Using natural ingredients with proven results, Prose customizes every product and your routine from shampoo to supplements.
So first, Prose starts by asking about your hair goals, like mine are increased volume and more moisture in it.
Their in-depth consultation also asks about you as a person. Prose asked me really unexpected things, like my eating habits, hair damage, and exercise.
Next, Prose analyzed my answers and handpicked clean ingredients to help me reach my hair goals.
As a carbon-neutral certified B Corp, Prose is an industry leader in clean and responsible beauty. All their ingredients are sustainably sourced, ethically gathered, and cruelty-free. They're also the first custom beauty brand to go carbon neutral.
If you are not 100% positive that Prose is the best hair care you've had, they will take all of the products back, no questions asked.
Prose is the key to achieving all your hair goals this year. Take your free in-depth hair consultation and get 15% off your first order today. Go to prose.com/spillthebeans.
That is prose.com/spillthebeans for your free in-depth hair consultation and 15% off.
And let's continue with the podcast. Anyways, let's start off with this one. It says, "Hi guys, been married for 5 years. Got married in 6 months of dating. I had a horrible/amazing first love before him, and he had a first love before me. I feel somewhat detached from him because he's not very emotional, and I miss my ex to this day. I see things that he does on social media trying to get back in touch with his ex too. I love him dearly, and we're trying to start a family, but this makes me question everything. Would you stay in a relationship that doesn't fulfill you, even though you love the person and truly get along great?" Damn, that's
Wait,
a
they're married
class.
or they're dating?
They've been married for 5 years.
God damn, girl.
This is the classic. If me and Blanca would have ever broken up.
If we would have
Well, this is
stayed
what you
broken
say,
up.
según.
Según yo, según
Yeah.
lo que pienso yo. I would always tell him, like, I think even if I would get married, even if I would move on, I would still love him because you were just my first everything. We were together for so long. When we broke up the last time, we had been together for like 5 years already, no?
Yeah.
So I feel like I would still think about you. And guys, the reason I say this is because even when we were broken up, like I would still think about him, and even if he would have made me so mad, we would have gotten into a huge argument, whatever, like I was still like, oh, but he was like a good guy, like I miss all the memories and stuff. But I don't know, girl, like bless you, I would want to know the tea, like why did you and your ex broke up, or why is this guy not fulfilling you? Are you just comparing him?
Or 5 years later?
Yeah, or is it just
And married?
gosh, and you're trying to start a family?
Yeah, girl, I would
What?
just listen to your gut. And like, you only have one life. Like, really, truly YOLO. Like, YOLO it and then tell your husband. Wait, she said that
She said that he's also trying to get in touch with his ex because he already had a first love. So I say just call it quits and go.
Yeah, be like, hey, like we gave it a shot. You're a great guy. I'm a great girl. But let's just go try to get our exes.
But also, what if the other exes are moved on and like happily married as well?
And then at that point, it's still better than being
To
with
leave.
someone like.
Yeah, if you both are actively still hung up on your ex, then I think it would be an agreement to just leave the relationship, especially because you don't have kids, which is, marriage is a huge commitment in itself, but kids, like that is even bigger. So I would say I would definitely talk to your partner and be like, hey, we're on the same page, like we're still stuck on our exes, let's get out, leave the relationship, because like Jonathan said, you only have one life. Why do you want to be unhappy? And also I feel like, say you stay in this relationship, right, you have kids, you're together for like 10 years past, right? And then 10 years in, you're like, what would have happened if I would have
But
left
if it's
that
almost
time?
6 years, then what makes you think at 10 it's gonna change?
That's
like
what
you're
I'm
always gonna
saying.
be hung up.
That's what I'm
So
saying.
before you get little kids involved, like
Exactly.
just get out of there.
Because in 10 years, you would probably be thinking, what if I would have left? What if I would have pursued my ex, So our advice is, if there's no kids involved and you both are on the same page, you see that he's actively trying to do things to get his ex's attention on social media, then you should come to an agreement to leave the relationship.
Yeah. All right, babe. I'll get through a lot of these.
Okay.
So our advice is going to be nice and short. Hi, guys. I need some advice. I've been dating this guy for 2 years. We were dating for a year and we broke up because he was a partier. We distanced ourselves for a year and worked through our issues. We have been back together for a year and have achieved a serious/healthy relationship. He is planning to go to Mexico for a week, and I can't go because I'm illegal. I feel insecure, and it's because my anxiety, because when we were dating the first time, he took a trip to Mexico. He ended up in Masa. He lied because he was already in his hotel room. I asked for his location, and he was in a club. We fought, and he turned off his phone for the rest of the night. No quiero ser tóxica o egoísta y prohibirle ir a México, but hasta que yo pueda viajar con él. Pero pienso en lo que hizo antes y me da ansiedad. Quisiera hablar con él y decirle lo que siento, pero no quiero traer problemas de antes al presente. Gracias, I love you guys. Damn, that switched up real hard on me. It's because it went full English and then just the second half Spanish. I was like, I'm waiting for like the Spanglish. It's because I was waiting for the Spanglish to like come back, but she just kept it.
You're preparing for it and it never came.
I couldn't even breathe through that.
I can tell. So this is probably just your anxiety from the past talking. If you guys have already achieved a pretty serious relationship, I would say you should still talk to him.
No, I think he got his, like, you get like these little like your cards. I mean, fuck, I don't know how to explain it. Like you get the freedom, you earn it, but he already lost it in my eyes.
Yeah.
Like I'm not even trying to sound like a simp, but like I think
no, because we have experience in this, guys.
I think like si tú ya le diste chance, you already like, and he did that to you. He blocked you. He lied about going to Mazatlan. He didn't share his location, and then he still went out. Like that was his one chance, you know. I don't think that deserves like another like, oh, I've changed, I'm not gonna. But like, okay, cool. Just like a murderer, if he kills one person and it's not like, hey, like I learned my lesson. Yeah. No, like you're going to jail for 20 years. You know what I mean? I just think the same. Like, hey, I gave you the chance to go without me because I don't have papers. Ahora te aguantas, you fucked up. Ahora te aguantas, and the next time you go is with me. Unless it's like his grandma dying or something, right. Like.
Or because if I'm being honest, speaking from experience, I don't think that he would. Well, the way that I know Jonathan, like he wouldn't want to go to Mexico just to go to Mexico.
No.
You know, and when we got back together, well, before, okay, so previously talking, this was our problem. He would go to Mexico. We'd be together. He would get to Mexico. He would break up with me, have fun those 2 weeks in Mexico, come back, try to get back with me. So when we got back together the last time, I was like, you're not going to Mexico until we're married and I can go with you. But you were never like,
you never really told me that, right. But I got the vibe.
It was like an unsaid.
It was what like, was it? Yo mismo me puse el castillito. I was like, because I have common sense. A lot of these guys don't have common sense. I always pride myself on having common sense. I was like, okay, I already fucked up like too many times. We're married or we're engaged or whatever. We're engaged or before that.
Yeah, we were already engaged.
Yeah, and I was like, I'm not going to go like. For me, for the temptation, and for her out of respect.
Not the temptation. Yeah. So, and you wouldn't have asked me to go
because I think the very first time I asked you or we talked about it, is like, hey, it's my sister's quinceañera.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
And I only went for 3 days.
It was a very special occasion that he was going for, and I just feel like any guy. Maybe just because I'm so traumatized from your rancho, I feel like any guy that goes to Mexico ends up doing something stupid. Whether, I'm not even talking about cheating, but they end up para baile, they end up lying to their girlfriend, they end up lying to their wife. So just save yourself that argument and just tell him, hey, like, I would really much appreciate if you didn't go until I'm able to go with you. If you said that you already established a very close and healthy relationship now.
Or fuck it, be like, okay, you go to Mexico and I'm gonna go to Miami with the girls. Period. Like, oh, I'm going to Miami, or I'm going to Vegas with the girls.
And see if he lets you. And if he doesn't, be like, andele chiquito, then you're not going to Mexico either, period.
Yeah, like, it's easy as
sometimes
that.
You just got to play the game.
Like you say, it's not about cheating sometimes or that. It's like, you're surrounded by so much toxic masculinity. Like, your boyfriend, I was. It's like, oh, no vas a salir culo. I like, there's acá te tiene, like, you know, like, está, you know. It's like, oh, no vas a ver. It's just so much toxicity around them, around us, that in Mexico, in these ranchitos, that it comes from our own grandparents, our own uncles, our own, you know, our friends from childhood over there, you know.
It's just the peer pressure that they fall into sometimes. And like I said, he probably won't cheat, but he'll end up lying to you, which will still create an argument, you know. So if you have already established this healthy relationship, you should be able to talk to him and tell him that, and he should be able to understand. And if not, then you're going to play the game and tell him, okay, when are you going, so that those dates I can book a trip to either, even if you don't want to go to Miami or whatever, just be like, I'm gonna go downtown wherever you live, have a club night. Let's go, baby. You know, like, just, you have to asustarlo, girl, because you just gotta play the game. What is it? Don't hate the player, hate the game. You gotta play the game, baby. What's next?
Let me find another one, because there is a lot, guys, but they're very similar to these. Like, I broke up and then got back together, and I found out this, and that. Ooh, I like this one. In-law drama. Da-da-da-da. And it's nice and short. Hello, guys. I'll make this short and simple. My sister-in-law and her husband are always saying they're going to end things, and they always end up getting the whole family involved. For some reason, they always want my husband there to keep things calm. I already told my husband I don't want him going over and getting involved, and they're having this problem because everyone knows they are not going to leave each other. He always says I would do the same, but to be honest, I know I wouldn't, because if I don't get my family involved in problems like that, I wouldn't want them to get involved in our problems. He says I'm not okay and that he sees nothing wrong with him being involved, but I always say there's something wrong because we end up looking stupid as fuck when you get back together. What are your thoughts? Send from Yahoo Mail for iPhone. Girl, I'm 100% on your side, because I've gone through and I'm going through the same shit now with Blanca. We're being very raw and very open with you, because this is what this podcast is about, okay? And sometimes I've had this talk with Blanca. You know, I've had enough. I've had enough of your sibling, the girlfriend. Now, especially with the kid, it's like, you know, we set boundaries, we set limits, and luckily, you know, Blanca has respected me with it, and we haven't had any further. But yeah, I 100% agree with you. You're on the right. Like, get your, like, what is this? Like, what are these little kid games? They're grown. Your husband's grown. Like, no te metas. Like, you already have your own little family to take care of yourself, and there's no need. Like, especially if you, like you said, you already know they're getting back together. Like why? Like, le gusta, like, es gordo la flaca? Like, does he like the drama, el chisme like that? Like, no man should be, like, mitigating two arguments like that. You know? That gives me, like, metrosexual vibes. Like, oh, le gusta y andar ahí en el chismecillo. Like, you know? Like, yeah. That gives me, like, a guy that, like, plucks his eyebrows. Like, nothing wrong with that. But, like, but it's, like, it gives me very much, like, I don't know, like, feminine energy to be out there, like, resolving issues between two. Like, I get issues like deep ones. Like, if my siblings were fighting, I would go and try to, hey, you guys love you. No, but once it's like little, like, he wants to leave, you know, and then like, fuck that. Yeah,
I agree. I think that even like in your relationship and anybody else's relationship, nobody should know or get involved in drama, because like you said, everybody around them ends up looking stupid. Because I don't understand how, if you already know that they're going to get back together, you know that there's like the people that talk so much shit about their significant other, and then because they're broken up and then they get back together, and then obviously this person tells the significant other, hey, like, this is what they think about you. So then who ends up looking stupid, and then that creates more arguments, it creates more tension, and then everyone just ends up losing a relationship.
The messenger always gets shot. Like,
always.
Because your husband's out there trying to fix things with his sister and a boyfriend or whatever, husband, he's going to look bad. And then because of him looking bad, you're going to obviously be on your husband's side. You're going to look bad. And now the parents are going to not like you guys and still like his sister. Like, it always works like that, you know? So I like, mejor ir a calladitos. ¿Cómo dice ese dicho? El pescado no se ahogó por hablar.
I don't think that's how it goes. But I very much agree. And I do think that since you've already made it known to your husband that you don't want him to be doing that, then he has to respect the boundary that you've set up for both of you and your marriage, because that is what a marriage is. Like, even if he still wants to go, the fact that you already told him that you don't like that he's doing that, he should already respect that decision, you know, because that's a marriage and you have to set up boundaries to keep your marriage healthy and to keep you out of problems, because at the end of the day, it's only going to bring more problems, and they're going to be happily together again, and you guys are going to be over there looking like the mean ones. So I think you should have a serious talk with your husband and be like, hey, we need to set boundaries. You need to respect my decision because I respect yours and any other things that you want in life. So just try to talk to him and get him out of the chisme. Yeah, because everybody loves chisme.
And I get it. Maybe like some families grow more closer than others. Maybe he has a really close relationship with his sister. Yeah. And if it's his little sister, then even more, you know, I understand. Like, I'm trying to put myself in the position, like, while we're talking, guys, I'm always thinking. So I'm thinking, you know, I have a little 18-year-old sister. If she was in a toxic relationship, I still don't think I would be there.
Well, the way I see it is you'd probably be there the first time or the second time. Or
if there was like physical, like then you gotta be like, hey, you know. But like, nah.
But like, when you realize, if you're like realizing, oh, they're getting back together, they're on and off all the time, then that's when you stop it. Like the first time, okay, I get it. It's the first time they break up. The second time, okay, it happened again. You can kind of try to support them. But yeah, the third, fourth, and so on. And if you already know it's a routine, then you have to stop. Because at the end of the day, they're going to be happy chilling in bed, talking shit about you. You know?
I just realized I've been blinking so much, guys. I'm sorry. In case you care. Okay, guys. Hi, Blanca and Jonathan. Wait, I read that really opposite. Hi, Jonathan and Blanca. I wanted to bring this topic up to you guys. Might have experienced this being first-time parents. I feel like my relationship postpartum has gone downhill and it's all my fault. I'm experiencing severe postpartum rage, anxiety, and depression. The one person who has been taking it all in and dealing with it is my husband. Our baby girl is 4 months old, first-time parents, and I just thought it would have gone down better from now. I'm always angry, sad, irritated, moody, and 100% a different person than who I've been pregnancy. If you're on Spotify, I'm pointing at Blanca right now. I quite honestly don't recognize who I am, and our relationship has changed so much. My husband has been so beyond loving, helpful, understanding, and patient, but I can't help but feel guilty for everything he's going through, has to deal with because of this. Sometimes I really just can't help it. I can't control how I feel. I feel like he's eventually just going to break and say, I just can't do this anymore. Jonathan, any tips on how to support a woman going through this? Blanca, any tips on how to deal with this?
Tell him, since you're over here pointing fingers.
Yeah, guys, honestly, girl, don't worry about it. You're 4 months in. If anything, we were great.
6
months. It started getting hard after that, emotionally, because I don't know. I feel like I don't know the science about it, because Blanca will explain that in a bit. But breastfeeding does mess with your hormones a lot. Your body obviously changed. And I think I'm going to speak for myself. The question you asked me, how to support your wife. And it's, man, if your husband's listening to this, just deal with it. Like, amárrate un huevo, como dicen, and just like deal with it, man. Because our legs didn't have to our private parts didn't have to spread 10 centimeters and push out a whole human life. Our belly didn't change. Our stretch marks didn't change. Our thighs, our face, our acne, our hair loss. None of that changed for us. All we had to do was just be there and hold her hand through it all. And it's the least we can do, honestly, man. With the mood swings, with the anger, with the rage, it's the least we can do when they've gone through this and still going through it. They're breastfeeding now. They're changing diapers. They're not getting enough sleep. Like just deal with it, man. That's the only thing I can do. I know what you're feeling and he's feeling, maybe, like, where you're like, man, she's being such a B word. She's being so mean to me, so like unaffectionate. But it's like, judging from what I've seen on TikTok, it doesn't last like forever. For some women it lasts longer than others. We're like a year and 1 month in, and it's starting to get better. I feel like your like period is like regulating, and now I know like the end of the month and the beginning-ish is the hardest. I know she's gonna be a total B word to me. Middle-ish of the month, I know she's off and she's gonna be like a sweetheart again. So it's just like dealing with him, man, because we honestly have like the long stick of it, or is it short? Is it better to have a short stick or long?
Long.
A long stick of it. And like, you know, especially if you work, you get to be like out of the house all day and your wife is the one who has to deal with it, you know? So that's my advice.
I just watched a movie yesterday. It's called Mouthful of Air. I would definitely recommend that to you. If you feel like it is not getting better, you're 4 months in, and trust, you're still super early in. If you feel like it's only getting worse, I would definitely say you need to talk to somebody and talk to them about your emotions, the way you feel. I wouldn't say you should talk to your husband in that sense, because there's so many things that you could be talking to your family about, but in a sense, you need someone with a professional background so that they can help you, because postpartum anxiety, rage, depression, all of that is so real, and it can get very, very dangerous very fast. So my first thing is, if you are feeling like it's getting worse, I would definitely try to talk to somebody that has a medical background, because they can help you out on that. And if you watch the movie, I just told you, it's A Mouthful of Air. I watched it on Amazon Prime. I would definitely watch it, because I feel like a lot of people that have experienced their partner or a loved one going through postpartum depression, anxiety, you literally look at them and you're like, they're fine, right? You're putting on a show on the outside, and in the inside, you could literally be dying, and you could literally be thinking that you want to die, you want to do or commit some certain acts that aren't normal, obviously. So that is my first thing. Watch the movie, talk to someone with a medical background, and it does get better. But I don't think that you get back to being yourself, because as Jonathan said, we're a year and a month in, and I still don't feel like myself, you know. And I believe that will change.
It takes 2 years.
I think it takes.
I heard even after 3.
I heard that it takes a year for you to feel like yourself again after you're done breastfeeding. So after you're done releasing all those hormones, because the way breastfeeding works, you're breastfeeding, and when they latch, your body releases so many happy hormones that make you so like attached to your baby. So when you stop and your body stops releasing them, it obviously goes through a whole change, you know. So then it takes you another year from then to get back into a routine, to get feeling like yourself prior to pregnancy or prior to knowing these happy hormones. So like Jonathan said, I would just try to explain to your husband that all you need is support. All you need is for him to be there for you, and that you do feel very sorry for treating him the way that you do, or for just raging out of nowhere, because that is normal. The way you're feeling is common, and I would say definitely try to talk to somebody, because it's not normal what you're feeling. It is common, but it's not normal, and you can get help, whether you need to go to therapy or whether you need to get on meds. And that's what I learned yesterday with the movie, because I was like, I've gone through postpartum blues. I've gone through post breastfeeding depression. Literally, I was down bad. And when I say down bad, like, think about the worst down bad. So I would say definitely take this very serious, because it's not your fault. Do not feel guilty. Do not feel like it's your fault at all. And I hope that your husband never makes you feel like that. I remember Jonathan one time said, well, you're just more butthurt now. And that made me so angry. I'm like, dude, I wish you could go through everything that I went through pregnancy, and then giving birth, and then postpartum, with all the bleeding and all the breastfeeding, the breastfeeding struggles. I wish you could go through all of that, and then on top of that, have a mom pouch, have all these stretch marks that you've never had, and not look like you used to. I wish you could go through all that and then still act normal, or still act like you did before pregnancy, you know. Like, I wish. So I feel like you definitely have to put it into perspective for your husband, because that's what I had to do with Jonathan. Because for a minute there, I was like, dude, BFFR. Like, you really feel this way? Because he just didn't like understand the science behind it. Like, he thought I was just being like that, but it was like, there's science behind this, and it's very real. So you just have to have a supporting husband, and also try to get help on your own too.
It is scary. I know it's very scary for women, but it is like different. It's our first time. It's our first rodeo as well for guys, for dads, you know, like I remember, I feel like Blanca put on a good face and a good show for the first 5 months. She wouldn't like, until like you broke, and you're like, I thought I was being such a great dad. I was like, I'm doing this. And then 5 months in, and she's like, you're not doing shit. And I was like, what the fuck? Like, I thought I was doing. And then she like broke down, and she told me all these things that I'm not either doing, or I'm doing wrong, or not doing, and not doing enough. And I was like, oh damn, okay. Like, but then I kind of like told her, I was like, yo, it took you 5 months to tell me this. Like, I think communication is key very early on. Like, the first time I don't do something, tell me right away, you know, or tell your boyfriend, because he might be thinking, like, I thought I was being a genuinely good dad, and compared to other dads, I was, right? Like, I wasn't being like a piece of shit or anything. But I guess women, at the end of the day, you just, fellas, biggest key of advice, do things without being told. I was always like, she'd be like, you never change his diaper. And I was like, because you never tell me to. She's like, well, I don't have to tell you to change your own son's diaper. You know, I'll be like, oh, okay. Like, you know, like, I
think for new moms as well, is when you have a baby, like physically, when the baby comes out of you, it's like a light switch changes, and you're a mom, and you just have all these new instincts, and you have all of these new things that your body was meant to do. When dads have a child, nothing changes. You know, it takes them a while to connect with them. It takes them a while to know what to do, how to hold them, how to put them to sleep, how to soothe them. So for the first couple of months, I feel like Jonathan wasn't doing enough with Franco because he didn't know what to do. Like, he was doing everything outside of it. Everything. He was like cleaning, getting the groceries, shopping done, getting work done. Like, he was doing everything but connecting with Franco. And it's because they just don't have that light switch. Like, you could love this baby so much, but I feel like you were, I don't know, like you were kind of scared. I don't know what you were going through. Yeah, it's like
a little baby. You're like, don't want to touch it.
He's so fragile, you know? So you just have to communicate and don't feel guilty. That's the very first thing. Because for me, I don't think I felt guilty. For me, I was like, does he not love him? Like, does he not want him, you know? But it was just him loving him so much, wanting to protect him, that he's like, if he's with his mom, like, he's fine. So
doing everything else.
I have to get everything else outside of this done, which was so helpful. But I was like, I still need you to, like, do this for him or do, you know, this and that. And that's when he was like, okay, like, then tell me, like, wake me up in the middle of the night if you need me to get up. Tell me to go change his diaper. Tell me to do this and that. And that's when I was like, okay, like, you literally, all you need to do is tell a guy what you need from him. And it's just the communication, guys. And I know it can be very uncomfortable to be like, hey, can you spend more time with the baby? Hey, can you change the baby? It can be really stressful because you think that you're asking him for something that he doesn't want to do. But I feel like for a guy, it's like, well, I'm scared to do anything. So unless you don't ask me, like, I'm not going to do it, you know?
I feel like both, like, Ozo and Chai went through the exact same thing. Like, Ozo, out of respect for Chai or like the babies, he would not want to get near the puppies at all. And they were his. And it's like, as soon as we gave him they were a little bit older and they could play and wrestle, he was having the time of his life. You know, he was playing and
like giving Chai a break. Like, Chai could do whatever she wanted, and the puppies were, all the attention was on Ozo, you know? So
it's like, just communicate with your husband. Like, I think you said it perfectly. It's not that we don't want to, it's just like it's like a little boundary. I don't know. Like, it's like, I know it's both of ours, but at the end of the day, if we divorce, if shit goes south, like, you are taking him with you. Like, he's a little bit more yours. It's like, it sounds fucked up that he's more yours than mine, but at the very beginning, it is like that. Like, you popped him out, he's like you bought him.
And even when you're just breastfeeding, like, the baby has to physically be with you the entire time. And this is sometimes what I don't get about dads wanting to fight so hard for, like, full custody, unless, like, the mom is harmful, unless she's not a very good mom, you know. But I feel like sometimes they just do it to pain, like, to hurt the mom, because the babies really are just amazing and they're going to be so safe with the mom until they get older. And I feel like that's how Jonathan saw it. Like, he didn't want, I guess, like you said, to cross a boundary with me that I never put up, but he thought I had, you know. So I feel like in the postpartum, we just know exactly what to do because of our instincts, and the guys are learning but not wanting to do anything that's potentially going to hurt us or make us upset, you know. So I feel like guys are just walking on eggshells for the first couple of months of postpartum, because that's how Jonathan was. And
very horny eggshells.
Oh my God, shut up.
Well, we go through things too, you know. This podcast.
Oh, pobrecito.
No, I'm just saying, this podcast is very raw, guys, and we're being honest, you know, because it's not talked through. You see it in the movies when a couple has babies and it's like so loving and you know. But let's be honest, we're telling you how it is so you can be prepared. Why are you smirking? I know my horniness doesn't compare to everything you just listed. I know it's not a factor. I'm just saying.
I'm literally that clip of Ronaldo. He's like,
yeah. No, I get it, babe. But I'm just saying, I'm not just saying just horniness. I'm saying I was gonna list more things until you gave me this, like the anxiety of being a good dad. Fear. Am I gonna be able to provide for my little man? You know, like for you, am I doing?
I think one thing that Jonathan would always tell me is like his irrational fear of just everything. Like, you were always scared that something was gonna happen when you weren't there, or like, I feel like guys go through so much in that sense. They obviously never voice it, and you can really never tell because they put up like a show, they put up a wall. But guys do go through a lot too postpartum. I'm not saying it compares at all to what we go through, but you really just have to tell them, like we always tell you, no se hacen están, because they are. Like, you have to tell them and communicate them and be like, I need you to do this, because you could be thinking like, why isn't he just taking out the trash? But the guys can just be like, well, I'll just let it get all the way full and that's when I take it out. But no, you literally have to go and be like, I need you to take the trash out. Or you just have to set up like a schedule for them. Every single Monday I need you to take the trash out, just like with the baby. Hey, I want you to be the one that changes diaper every morning so that I can get 3 minutes of rest. like extra, you know? So you just have to, don't feel guilty, don't feel sad, don't feel like it's your fault at all, because it's not. It's very common. Everybody goes through this. Maybe not to the deepness and the extent that you're going through it, but they do. So don't feel alone in this, girl. Everybody goes through it at some point, and you just have to communicate.
Very well said. All right, guys, this last DM is very, like, this is what the DMs I also like, because it's from a very young follower. And I think a lot of you guys, like I said in the last podcast or last two, you can't relate to baby talk. You can't relate to husband talk. And a lot of you guys do need help just to deal with your young anxieties, because when I was 16, I felt like my problems in the moment were the worst and I was never going to get over them. Mm-hmm. So that's how you're feeling right now. And we're here to help you with that too, because we've been through it. We've been through it all. So she says, hi, podcast. I'm here for a little advice. To introduce myself, I'm a 19-year-old oldest daughter with really strict parents. I'll make bullet points to make it easier to read. My parents don't let me do absolutely anything. I pretty much raised my two younger siblings. I have zero, absolutely not one friend. I had friends in high school, but I would only see them in school. So ever since I'm out of high school, I have no friends to hang out with. I used to hang out with two girl cousins I have, but they both now have babies and I live with their man. So they kind of forgot about me. Of course, I can't have a boyfriend either. I've tried talking to them. My mom is a little more understanding. My dad will get up and walk away. He won't even listen to me. When I try to do things, I'll ask my mom. She will let me once every blue moon, but when it's a no, she doesn't want to say it. She will ask my dad no, and he will say no. I have absolutely no social life or anyone to talk to. The only place I'm happy is Mexico. When I go over and visit my grandpa, he's an angel, and he lets me go out and even lets my friends go over. I also can't move out here because I am in college, so all my money goes to school. I do lashes from my house, but I don't get a lot of clients. I don't get much support for the same reason that I have no friends. That's kind of the summary of it all. Any advice? Should I try to move to Mexico? Maybe do lashes over there? My school's online, so I could get my degree. Damn.
Yes.
No, hell no.
I hate that it is so common for Hispanic parents to put all the responsibility of raising their children on the oldest child.
Yeah, that sucks.
That is terrible.
And two, like, such a machista dad with, like, the typical, like, oh, I'm the dad and you're my little girl, you're not gonna have boyfriends or anything like that. Like, that just makes them push them away farther,
Mm-hmm.
Like, you're not gonna, when you do start maybe dating a boyfriend behind his back, like, you're not gonna tell him about him. You're not gonna tell him the great memories you're making with him, or prom, or I mean, you could have had prom, homecoming with a boyfriend and you didn't, or with guy friends,
I feel like what a lot of parents don't understand is being strict. I understand to an extent, like if they're 15 and under, I get it. But as teenagers start growing older, you need to be a little bit more lenient with them, because if you don't want them doing something, they're gonna be doing it behind your back, and it's better for you to know what they're doing so that you know your child. And it's just true what Jonathan said. If your parents just don't know that they're literally, like, the fact that you want to move to Mexico is pushing you away in a sense that you will not be there to help them out when they need it with the kids or just with anything else. So I don't know, because the way that you're saying is like talking to your dad is like talking to a wall. And that's how my dad was when I was a teenager. Talking to him was literally like there was no getting through to him. It wouldn't even go into his ears. It would like just, he'd dodge everything that I would ever say. And it was a little bit different because my mom was always supportive. Like, she always loved Jonathan. She would always let me go out with him. There were boundaries. Like, obviously I had to be home like at 8 p.m. I couldn't do this and that, but
you were in high school. You weren't 19.
Even when I was 19.
19?
You don't think that they were so strict?
No.
No? I guess because
out of high school, babe, after your huge graduation party, we could do whatever we wanted.
Yeah, and in a sense, it was because, listen, the way that I put it, it's like I already did what I had to do. I went through school, I graduated, I gave you my high school diploma. Now, let me do what I want to do and be free, so I can stay, because I stayed with my parents until I literally got married and moved out. And that's because I set that boundary. Like, I was like, I'm not going to ask you for permission. I'm just going to let you know where I'm going,
Yeah.
And that's a boundary that I set that helped a lot, because my mom just knew what I was doing the entire time. My mom became my bestest friend, and slowly but surely my dad became a friend too. Like, barely right now I would say he's my friend. But it's hard getting through to a dad that doesn't it feels like you're talking to a wall, and then a mom that doesn't support you either.
Yeah.
Like, what do you do then? That's what I'm saying. Like, hell yeah, move to Mexico and do school from Mexico,
I know that was your reaction, and I said hell no right away. It's just like, Mexico's great. for fun and stuff, but to prosper, guys, it's very difficult. Like, think about all the people that are crossing the desert right now, cold, starving, to try to get a better life over here, and you have it all here already, and you're trying to leave back to where they're coming from. Like, I get you. Like, that's how I was the same way. Every time I would go to Mexico, my parents and it would be like time to come back. I'd be like, no, leave me here. Like, I want to stay with my grandma. But now it's like, if you want to prosper in life, salir adelante, especially when you have kids, like, you know, my best advice, start that Instagram page for Lash. Just start getting out there. When you do make it, DM us. We'll shout you out. You know, start getting bigger. And at the end of the day, girl, this is what I'm going to tell you. You're going to have to run. No, you're going to have to walk so your siblings can run. Those little 2 siblings that you raised, believe it or not, as strict as they are with you right now, your dad and mom are probably going to let them do whatever the flip they want when they grow up. Just like Blanca's parents were strict with her, like, and I couldn't even have a phone until I think I got my first phone when I turned 14 or 15. My little sister, her little sisters have a phone at 11, 10. You know what I mean? So it's like, right now, everything you're going through, I feel like is very unnecessary. Like, especially porque te estás portando tan bien. I would just, like, honestly show, what I always tell is, like, show your parents a bad time and they'll appreciate the good times. You know, right now they might be even calling you a bad daughter for wanting to go out. Like, truly rebel. ¿Cómo se dice? Rebel en español. Como, ay, esta se me está
revelando.
Anda, revelando. Revelando, no?
Revelando?
No.
That's revealing.
No, you know what I mean? Like, this one is going crazy. Like, and show them a bad time. Show them what it could be like, you going out, coming out. Like, what are they going to do? Like, kick you out, whatever. Sure, then you go, you know? Like, I'm just saying, like, that's how that was the life of my story. Like, I would bring my parents straight A's, do all this and this, GPA, honors classes, and they would still call me a bad son because I didn't do this and that, go to church or whatever. So then I was like, oh yeah, you want to see what a bad son is like? Boom, coming home at 2, 3 in the morning drunk, going out with my friends, having parties while they were out in Mexico or like visiting family out of state, you know, blah, blah, and then there will be, and then once they're like, ¿Qué pasó? Cambia. I'll be like, oh, see, you didn't appreciate me when I was being a straight A student. Like, you don't deserve that no more, you know? You had your chance with me, and so now, but now look at my brothers. They get to do whatever they want. So it's like this very unnecessary, like you agree, no? Like, absolutely. You don't have to be this picture perfect kid when your siblings are gonna come along and do whatever the flip they want. You
and
know
still
what I mean?
not bring straight A's and
and they're, you know, so girl, you're honestly putting too much. They're putting too much pressure, too much weight on your shoulders when it's not necessary. You know, it's like when teachers, you're stressing over algebra in high school. When the fuck have I ever used algebra after high school, or the Pythagorean theorem and all that bullshit? Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, all this stuff right now with your parents, like, it's not gonna matter once those little kids raise up. They let them do whatever they want, and then you move out and have kids and make your own life. You know,
and as much as your parents will say like you're being a bad daughter, whatever, the feelings are not like, they're not gonna stop loving you.
And you'd be like, you're being a bad dad.
Yeah.
You tell them.
These are your children. Shut up.
Nah, but you know what I mean. Because
don't disrespect them. Don't be disrespectful. But you have never. Did you disrespect your parents?
Yeah, it got to the point where it was too much. Like, I've never, like, I'm not here trying to, like, you know, pat my back. I never had a normal class, guys. I've always had honors and AP college courses. I was going to see you once a month and taking,
Secret.
Yeah, and I was still being called a bad son. So I was like, you know, fuck this. And what did I turn into?
A crackhead.
Yeah. And then
not literally.
I was like, oh, why are you so bad now? ¿Qué te pasó nuestro hijo? I was like, because you didn't appreciate me.
Damn, babe, you use psychology.
So now they've made up with my siblings, you know, and this is where I wanted to talk to you about the whole dad thing. Like, my dad, like, he has such a good relationship with my little sister. Like, my sister talks to him about boys. Voy a salir con un niño or what, un muchacho. Like, he lets her. Like, muchachos have gone, like, in Mexico at bailes, muchachos have gone up to my dad asking permission to dance with my sister. My dad gives them the green light every time to go dance, have her fun, you know, and it's like, and look at the relationship they have. It's beautiful, you know, like, my sister's like the dad, like, girl version of my dad. So honestly, your dad is losing out on a lot, and it sounds like you're a very nice girl.
And it just sucks that they have to sacrifice their relationship with you to have a good relationship with your siblings, because it's just how it is.
It's always how it is.
Yeah, and it sucks, but like Jonathan said, you have to go through it. And just honestly, yeah, I don't want to be like, oh, this podcast told me that I have to rebel against my, no, but it's like,
say Jonathan
the way that we're saying it is, do what you want to do if you want to do it, you know, like if you want to go out to dinner with your friends on a Friday night and they're like, oh no, well, it's because we want to go out and do this and you have to take care of your siblings, be like, hell no, like these are your children. I'm gonna go have fun with my friends. I can take care of them if you want to go when I come home, you know, like we're not saying like be so disrespectful and mean unless it has to get to that point. I don't know, they put you like at a breaking point, but just start doing what you want to do if it's okay, you know, if you're not doing anything bad, because you have to literally teach your parents how to be parents. And it sucks that you have to parent your parents, and that sucks. But you know, you have to live life, girl. You're 19, ya les dice your high school diploma, you're literally in college and still trying to work on the side. So I'm pretty sure you're not being a bad daughter.
And your cousins got pregnant, which are your age. So it'd be like, mira, María y Juana ya tienen novio esposo y se embarazaron.
For legal purposes, those are not her cousins' names.
But like, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
You're still out here trying to grind and make a better life. So
yeah.
I think we're going to end on that note, guys. I want you to know, no matter if you're a 40-year-old pregnant lady or a 19-year-old girl struggling with her parents, we're here for you. And honestly, I might not be 40, I might not be 50, but age is just a number, and experiences are what makes someone, you know, mature or knowledgeable. And we are truly, it's like a blessing and a curse to say we have gone through a lot, because some of the things we wish we wouldn't have, you know, the toxicity, the trauma, the abuse, all that, you know. So, but I guess God did this to us so we could be here helping other people. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And we never want to act like, oh, we know the ins and outs. We don't. But like with some of the advice that you guys send in, we've gone through it. So we want to let you know how it is. Like we could sit here and be like, just be respectful to your parents, like you're under their roof. But we've already gone through this, you know, like we're going to tell you the actual advice that we wish we would have learned when we were your age or when we were going through things that you guys are going through. So I hope that it at least helps you out or lets you see it from another perspective. We're never saying like do exactly what we say. Just take some things from what we say and just take what's going to help you out, you know, or what you like to hear, because sometimes we're a little extreme, I would say, you know?
Yeah. We're extreme, but it's because we're passionate, and I hate hearing that someone's going through what I went through. Yeah. And I was like, I wish I could be there, like coaching you, like right now, like physically, and be like, okay, you're gonna do this and this, or like, we're gonna meet at a Starbucks, and then I'm gonna tell you do this and this, and then you're gonna go home, do it. You're gonna be like, Jonathan, everything, it's getting better. And
it's like you know how people say like, oh, I wish I had an older sibling.
Yeah,
of course you wish, because then they would have walked so that you could run, you know, like you wouldn't have had to go through those experiences. So like, of course everybody wishes that they have an older sibling. So that's what we're trying to be for you.
If you're the youngest watching this right now, don't even talk. I don't want you to even give your opinion. No, I'm kidding.
Just kidding.
No, but you guys have had it the easiest, huh?
Like yeah, that's true. I agree.
I'm kidding. We love you guys, but we love you. But the youngest sibling is so spoiled, so unappreciative, so.
And I'm not saying you guys don't have problems, but BFFR.
Your problems
not
matter.
The problems of the oldest. It's like the oldest sibling trauma. You know, like that's what you have to go through a lot.
So if you do have an older sibling and they're probably hella old, they have kids, and you're an uncle and you're the youngest, you're vibing, you're having fun, check up on your oldest sibling, you know, maybe buy them a Starbucks gift card, tell them you love them, call them, tell them you appreciate them, all the bullshit they went through that maybe they never even told you, or you don't know because, you know. So.
Because you had that privilege to be the youngest, the most spoiled and loved and attention, because like parents literally with the oldest kid, they learn how to be a parent. So by the last one, they're living life, just
they're like, I'm not gonna struggle with this because I know it doesn't matter. So then they cut. There's a lot of shortcuts when you're like the youngest, you know.
I hope that you guys like this podcast. I hope that you liked a little bit of the advice. Maybe you got some good advice here and there, and please let us know if you have any more advice. If you have like really short 1-sentence advice, DM it on Spill the Beans podcast JJ on Instagram. And if you have a little bit of a longer bullet point advice vibe, then you can go on to Spill the Beans.
Same.
Is it Spill the Beans podcast JJ? No, Spill the Beans JJ at gmail.com.
Okay.
Yeah, I hope so. Please don't send it to nobody else, girl.
Don't send your trauma to someone else.
We'll have everything in the description
just
box.
Working their accountant job.
Just please go and check
the coffee shops we post on our story.
Oh,
and
no,
receive
baby.
all the trauma.
with your Instagram username. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching and listening. Don't forget that we are on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and everywhere else that you can stream podcasts. But without that being said,
we love you guys. Happy Friday.
And we'll see you next Friday.
Later.